So let's take a look now through the lens of the coachee, and then I think we're going to do a little closure together today. But looking through the lens of the coachee, so from our perspective, then we get that information sheet that the supervisor shares with us, so we have the gist of what this person is teaching, what the greatest areas of need are, what their strengths are, what other interventions have been tried with that teacher, so we do ask that. And so we have an idea of what else they've done before they've come to us. And then our school liaison contacts the coachee and begins the onboarding process. And by the way, we try to be as transparent as possible with the coachee, and that is, we actually encourage the administrator or supervisor to CC the coachee when they share that information sheet. We want it to be transparent. Not always do we get there, but we want it to be transparent that we haven't made these goals up to work with them on. These are the goals that we were given by the administration. And so our school liaison works with those with the coachee. We have a landing page that's got some videos and resources on how to use the Sibme platform. Because it is a technology platform, we are asking these coachees to submit probably in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 snapshot videos over the course of the 6 weeks. So we are asking them to use the technology. And so the school liaison sort of onboards them into the coaching process, also make sure they're going to be successful with the Sibme technology part of things. And it's a pretty simple process. It's an app on their phone. They videotape their lessons. They copy those lessons from a workspace to their huddle, and then they view in their huddle the comments and the feedback that they've been given by the coach. And they have the opportunity of replying to that feedback as well, by the way, as you well know. They can also send their video with comments loaded on it, so that when the coach receives that video, that snapshot video, the coach can see that the coachee has been reflective before sharing that video. So it's not always just I'm the coach and I'm giving you feedback on what I see. I'd like for you to be reflective and share that reflection with me when you share the video. But that feedback can be conversational. It can go back and forth. There's a reply button. So it's not just one and done. It is a conversation that can occur. We're really making every moment a teachable moment because of the time-stamped feedback we can offer. So if we do see that moment in time that's associated with the goal, which is the hope, and oftentimes the reality, then we can explode that moment and really talk deeply about that moment, because we have the video evidence, we have the ability to go back and forth with that conversation. And that's really one of the great beauties of having the Sibme platform. So after the coachee has been onboarded, we ask them to have two, I know you don't like to use homework, so I'll say home fun assignments. And those two home fun assignments before they begin to work with the coach. We ask them to do a 360, which you alluded to. So we want to see the setup of the classroom, because we know sometimes that the way the classroom is set up can either add to the problem or help to resolve the problem. I've seen some pretty interesting classroom setups that I immediately requested a change in. That was contributing in a major way to the problem. Situations where the way the teacher had the document camera set up required the teacher's back to be to the class the entire time. I mean, it's not good. It's just not going to be good. It's not going to be pretty. So we ask for that 360 so that our coach can get a sense of what the classrooms look like. And sometimes the coaches we work with are traveling teachers. So they're maybe in 3 or 4 different classrooms, which makes it interesting. And then we also ask for them to submit an introduction video. And so when you begin that coaching process, those 2 videos should be in your coaching huddle. You've looked at those videos, you've seen us share with you a report as to what our goals are, and now we're ready for the coaching to begin. So from the lens of a coachee, what does this process look like?
Well, I'm sure they're quite nervous at first, but like I said, at the beginning, the coachee does most of the talking. The coachee is constantly taking notes. Oftentimes I don't tell them they have to, but I really like when they do. We problem solve quite a bit of issues through the process. And, what I've noticed is I don't want to say I lead the conversation the first one, but I ask a lot of leading questions to try to get them to open up to me a little bit and be a bit reflective on their process. So they will do most of the talking, but I'm leading them in that, I'm facilitating that conversation in a major way. Whereas later on in the conversations, they tend to, I simply start this is no secret. I start every conversation with, how's it going this week? That's all. That simple question can just open up so many doors and so many conversations. Some coaches want to jump right in to talk about the videos. They want to talk about the videos immediately. And then others want to talk about maybe something that happened that day, or maybe they went on a field trip, and maybe there was some, a student issue or a parent concern. And so whatever is on their mind, if that trust has been built, they will immediately share out. And through that, again, I always think of it as coaching with myself, at least, as, I have an end goal in mind, and that maze every week looks a little bit different, but I still have an end goal in mind of what I want to discuss and what I want to work with. So it's me figuring out the best way to get there and support that teacher effectively. And we get there every time, but we also sometimes are incorporating some more conversations. But all in all, I still try as a coach to have it end with our goals in mind. And that coachee, I think, I try to make sure that the coachee feels that he or she has been able to share everything that they want to share. Even if it's somewhat unrelated, oftentimes it is related, and they just don't see that it is related to some of the things that we're working on in our goals. So I hope that through the process, the coachee feels continually like they are being heard, and that they are being listened to, and that they are building their toolkit, and they are building their confidence. So that's what I hope. I want to jump into each of the coachee and kind of see what they're thinking, but that's what I hope that they're thinking through the process. And from our feedback, I really feel strongly that they are feeling that way.